Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Hello and welcome to Passion to Win, a four-part series celebrating the winners of the EOY Entrepreneur of the Year 2015 Awards. I'm Shireen Bhan. On today's episode, we profile our final four entrepreneurs who've contributed greatly to their industry and carved a niche for themselves. Our first entrepreneur duo are the siblings from Lupin, Vinita and Nilesh Gupta, who were instrumental in the transformation of the pharma company, aided by a recent volley of acquisitions in the global market. The company is today the fifth largest generics firm in the US and the third largest Indian pharma company by revenue. Let's take a look at the Lupin story.
Growing up in an illustrious business family, Vinita and Nilesh Gupta were always inspired by their father, Dr. Deshbandhu Gupta.
I feel like I grew up in the business. Since I was a kid, I always saw DBG, my father building the company with a lot of passion. So when I was in school, I used to love arts. And when it came time to choose between arts and science and economics, my father, mother both asked, why wouldn't you go into arts and maybe do architecture or but I really wanted to prepare myself for this beautiful business that my father had started, and figured it made sense to really get into science. And then after that studied pharmacy, after that MBA, really prepared myself to be able to add value to the business.
So we're a very closely knit family. We're five kids and mom and dad, so there's seven of us growing up. In a way, all of us were born into Lupin. Dad from very early days involved us in decision making, and it was funny because I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, but 3-4 years later, I don't know if I see myself sitting and talking to her about how my day at work went, what I did, but that's what Dad used to do. And so that was, so Lupin got ingrained very early into the mind.
After their graduation, they both decided to come back to India to help Lupin enter new markets.
After my MBA, I worked for a very short while at Merck Sharp & Dohme in New Jersey, just for a summer, and realized very quickly that I was not cut out for that environment. I was very used to a very entrepreneurial environment that our father, our chairman, had established in Lupin, and decided to come back to Lupin. At that time, DBG was really thinking about the US market. The company was really focused on the Indian market, and he wanted us to take the company global, with the US being a key market to go global. So he asked me to come back to India, build the blueprint to take Lupin international into the US market, into Europe, into other regions, and then execute it. And that's what I did.
So it was interesting. So when I came back from the US, and I was debating whether I should come back to Lupin, should I stay in the US at some point of time. The US was in a major recession at that point of time, so there was a real dearth of good opportunities. At the same time, Vinita talked to me about coming back. Companies were just getting into the generics world at that point of time. Companies like Dr. Reddy's and Baxi were very successful. So she suggested, why don't I come back and set up a group to identify a generic pipeline, and sounded like a good idea to me. So I came back. Unlike my earlier stint, this time I moved to Pune. So I actually stayed in Pune, came back to Bombay on the weekends, and I think that was the best thing I did. Lupin is a very, is a big meritocracy, and you have to earn your spurs before you will be respected and before you can succeed in the company.
Today, with a revenue of about 12,600 crore rupees, Lupin is a dominant force in the global generic market with multiple facilities across the world, including one in the US and two in Latin America and Japan. But both Vinita and Nilesh Gupta feel that this is only the beginning.
So we have exciting times ahead of us. I mean, in the last 2 years, we have worked hard in building new growth drivers for the organization. So when you look at our preparedness to grow our business for the next couple of years, for the next 2 to 3 years, we have added multiple new growth drivers to the organization. I mean, we should be able to effectively evolve our complex generic business. We should be able to, we have got into all of the major markets that we wanted to be in. We're now going to focus on getting deep into the markets and build them.
So I think, and there aren't any great answers on how you get the edge. I think one part is capability. In the past, we were able to acquire, now we need to build. The other part is just execution. And I think that to me in many ways is the core of what we've been able to do so far. And I think that's what's going to take us into the future as well. One part is to identify what you're doing, and the other part is to carry it through. And we've done a remarkable job of carrying it through in the past. And that's something we need to replicate in the future.
Vinita and Nilesh Gupta were recipients of the Entrepreneur of the Year 2015 award. Congratulations.
The winners, ladies and gentlemen, are Vinita Gupta and Nilesh Gupta of Lupin.
Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen, for the winners of the EOY Entrepreneur of the Year award.
It is time for us to take a short break, but on the other side, the veteran of the Indian software industry, Dr. F.C. Kohli, talks to us about his various contributions both to the engineering and information technology industries. That's up in a bit. Welcome back. You're watching Passion to Win. Our next story is about an IT giant who laid the groundwork for the rise of a $100 billion Indian IT industry, and he was responsible for the development of the software industry in the country. Dr. F.C. Kohli, the founder of Tata Consultancy Services, or TCS, is sometimes described as the Henry Ford of IT services. Let's take a look at his story.
Born and educated in what was then Pakistan, F.C. Kohli had two choices after college: a commission in the Navy or a scholarship to study abroad.
I was born in Peshawar, which is now part of Pakistan. My schooling was in Peshawar. My college education was in Government College Lahore, which was at that time the topmost college in northern India. And then I had two things in 45. I had a commission in Navy, and also I got a scholarship, Government of India scholarship to go abroad. So finally I chose the scholarship and didn't go in Navy, not anything against the armed forces. And in 46 I went abroad. I graduated in power engineering at Queen's, which is in Canada. That is considered the #1 university in Canada. And then I worked with Canadian General Electric for a year, and then went for doing the masters in again in electrical engineering and power engineering at MIT.
After MIT, Dr. Kohli was offered a job with the Tatas.
And when I was finishing that. Of course, I will in touch with the education secretary posted from Government of India at Washington all through this, and they offered me a position with Tatas, at the end of which I did accept, and the Tatas arranged for my further training in power systems with Connecticut Valley Power Exchange and New England Power System for about 6 months, and after that I came and helped Tata Electric Company to set up what you call the system, management system, or you call it load dispatching.
Finally, when the Tatas decided to set up a computer consultancy company, they asked Dr. Kohli to take charge.
Then since I had worked on computers way back from 62 onwards, or 62 onwards from IIT Kanpur, and Tatas asked me about TCS, which they were setting up. So I moved on 69 to TCS, and that is how I got into Tata Consultancy Services. And it has done well. It was building up Tata Consultancy Services. The thing was, as I explained, that there was not much computerization work in India because the government of the day was not for encouraging automation or computerization. And so I had to go for export, and we did the Tata Consultancy did the first export from India to United States, and that was 74 end. And then we have been developing this expertise in computers in this country, and what is for me personally very rewarding is that almost 1/3 of the companies today in computers or the software are headed by people who have worked with me. So it's a very something that I get a lot of comfort out of it, that what we have done for the country, but at the same time we have not computerized the country because of different reasons, and also the country has not developed the hardware manufacture which it could have if we had computerized, but we will computerize the country.
Today, known as the father of the Indian software industry, Dr. Kohli is still contributing to his nation.
What we have done we have won a recognition at the world over that Indians can do very complex tasks. Because whatever we have done, I mean, it is of the complexity is of very high order, and the quality of our work is of very high order. So with the result that today the Indian computer people who have worked abroad or working on are held in high esteem all over the world. And but as I said, we have done for others but not done enough for our own country, and that remains a problem and an issue. And I hope I'll live long enough to solve that problem also, or help in solving it.
Dr. F.C. Kohli was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award at the 17th EY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards.
Ladies and gentlemen, EY Entrepreneur of the Year Lifetime Achievement winner, Dr. F.C. Kohli.
I invite Mr. Godrej, Mr. Gadkari Sahab and Rajiv to come on stage, please, to present this award and read the citation.
It is time now for another short break, but on the other side, Chandrasekhar Ghosh tells us what inspired him to found Bandhan Bank. That story when we return. Welcome back. You're watching Passion to Win. With a childhood fraught with hardships, Chandrasekhar Ghosh spent most of his early days working in his father's small sweet shop making ends meet. He then went on to found Bandhan Bank, the first microfinancing bank to receive funding in India. Here's a look at his story.
Born to a poor sweet seller in Tripura, Chandrasekhar Ghosh's early days were filled with struggle.
I born is a poor family, and my father was a job is in sweet shop, is a small sweet shop. In the morning, I helped him to make the sweets, and after the 11 a.m. I went to the school, and I returned back in the 4:30 p.m. and again I have been worked with him, and in that way I have been enjoy my in the childhood life on that, and 10 to 12 people as a family is there. So maintain on that from the small shop is very hard, I saw in there.
After tenaciously pursuing his education, he worked for NGOs in Bangladesh and Kolkata, where a tiny incident changed his life.
I also one day have been visited in sometimes on the Kacha Bazaar to purchase my fish and vegetable on that. I saw that one person has come with a motorbike and given the morning 500 rupees to the vegetable seller and fish sellers and collect the 5 rupees in the morning, and evening again person has come and collect the 500 rupees. I asked the vegetable sellers or fish sellers that why you are paying the 700% interest rate to them. And this is my first thing on that, to learn from these people on that, how they are thinking about it on that. And they said that no, I have been given the 5 rupees, which is my 2 cup of tea. I am not mind about it to pay the 5 rupees. It is not the 700 rupees. Actually, this is the poor people. They are not calculating the interest rate. They are calculating the amount on that.
Bandhan Financial Services grew quickly to significant success until it was faced with a challenge.
2009-10, I have been felt in a very uncomfort to my journey, and feel that there is a microfinance criticism have been started on that. We are all are bad people. We are charging high interest rate, and a lot of criticism has come on that. And I feel that how I can be like to overcome this criticism on that. Otherwise, if we stop this, the assistance to the people, so people should be suffer on that. They will be not get it that from any institution on that. They again go to the money lenders and pay to that 700% interest. So that is not maybe not the matter of the criticizer on that. So I am very much afraid in that time how I can be like to do anything for that. And then I analyze the total of the cost of the organization on that. So if you see that when we are deliver any services to the doorsteps, to the house of the consumer, so it will be cost is more than if the consumer has come to my office. So this is the one side. I cannot avoid it on that.
Today, Bandhan Bank has 612 bank branches and 2,022 doorstep service centers across 27 states, serving over 80 lakh customers with nearly 20,500 employees.
You have know that the 74 lakhs of my micro level customer, and there is 6 lakhs as a customer of the non-micro level on that. So we are divided the two different wing on that. One wing we say that the micro banking, and this wing have been worked through the 2022 doorstep service center. So my credit officer, they go to the village with a handheld device, and every customer has a debit card. So they sweep the debit card, and they have the biometric authentication. The biometric authentication given with the machine, and automatically they can transact, withdraw the money, deposit the money, give the installment, and also take the loan on that. And another thing is the 605 bank branches. So there is same as in any of the bank branches like on that. And all services there. There is an internet banking, there is a mobile banking, there is a person can come to the branch and to transact their money on that. So in this way also we are working, and also our bank staff, if they receive the call from the customer, they will go to the customer house and collect the money and also disburse the money in there. So that is also is possible in that way.
Chandrasekhar Ghosh was awarded Entrepreneur of the Year 2015 for the category Financial Services.
Please put your hands together for the man of the moment, Mr. Chandrasekhar Ghosh of Bandhan Bank.
That is a wrap then on this special 4-part series celebrating the lives of the winners of the 17th EOY Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. Until next time, from the entire team, many thanks for watching, and catch us same time next year.